Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I am going to be doing a make.com tutorial for beginners. So in this video, I will be showing you how to build automations step by step. Now, if you're still doing repetitive tasks manually, you're wasting hours every week. In this video, I will show you how to use make.com to automate your work step by step, even if you are a complete beginner. Now, we're going to be building a real automation from scratch, connecting apps, setting triggers, and making everything run automatically in the background. Also, if you want to try make.com yourself, you can use my link down below in the description to get 1 month free and start automating your workflows easily. Now, before we jump into the video, we're going to be answering a very vital question. What is make.com and what does it actually do? Now, make.com is an automation platform that connects different apps together. So instead of manually doing tasks like saving emails, updating spreadsheets, or sending messages, make.com does it for you automatically. Think of it like this. There's a trigger, an action, and a result. So for example, when you receive an email, save the attachment, then send a notification, a trigger, action, and a result, like I said earlier. So to get started, head over to make.com's website and then click on Get Started for free. Once you do that, you should be greeted by this sign up page where you have the Continue with Google option and a form down here. I'm going to be using Continue with Google because it is faster this way. I'm just going to click on that. And then you'll be prompted to choose an account. Just go ahead and choose the account that you'll be using for this service. And then once you do that, you should be greeted by your dashboard. Now on your dashboard, you are going to see a ton of metrics, and this is where all your automations called scenarios are created and managed. So to create your first scenario/automation, you're just going to head over to this tab at the left hand side, and then you're going to click on scenarios. And then this is going to load up and you should see a blank page that says create your first scenario. So to create your first scenario/automation, you just go to the top right and then click on the create scenario button over here. Now you should be greeted by a blank workspace. This is where you're going to be building your automation visually. So just click the big plus at the center and you should get a pop-up like this. Now, the next step is to choose a trigger app. Now, the first step in any automation is the trigger. So we're going to be using Gmail as an example. So we're going to either search for Gmail, or you should just see Gmail here as an option. After selecting Gmail, you should choose a trigger like watch emails, for example. So I'm going to be using the watch email trigger for this tutorial. So when I click on that, this simply means that every single time I receive an email, the trigger is going to activate the automation. Now, the next step is to connect your Gmail account. Now, make.com will ask you to connect your Gmail account, so you just have to log in and authorize access. So once connected, choose things like which inbox to monitor, the filters, which are optional, and then you click OK to confirm. Now, I have already connected my Gmail account, as you can see here. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the simple filter. I'm going to leave the folder as is. And then the criteria, I'm going to be switching to unread messages for the purpose of this tutorial. You can check out advanced settings if you know what you're doing, but if you're a beginner, like I said, you just have to go ahead and click on save. No need for too much details. Now, there is a prompt that is going to pop up asking where you want your automation to start. So basically, you can choose different options, which is choose manually, since a specific date, or and from now on. So I'm going to be going with from now on. So from now on, any email that I am going to be getting from this point or this time frame, that is where the automation is going to start from. So if I have any older emails, I would not be able to do any work on them using this automation. So I'm going to go ahead and click on save. Now, the next step to this automation is going to be adding an action. And to do that, you should just click on the plus button there. And now this is where you're going to select an action. Now, an action is where the automation does something. So let's say we want to save email attachments to Google Drive. I'm just going to go ahead and search up upload a file after I search up Google Drive. So in the search bar, I'm going to type drive, and then we should get this Google Drive, and then I'm going to click on show more, and then I'll scroll a bit, and then I find upload a file. For the purpose of this tutorial, this is what we are going to be using. So just click on that, and like in the previous step, you just have to connect your Gmail account, the same one that you are using with your email account. That is the one you use on your Google Drive should be the same as your Gmail account. So I have done that already. I am going to enter a folder ID. I'm just going to select from the list, my drive location, choose where to choose folder. As new folder location, I'm just going to choose any random one. I'm going to be using the map function instead. And then for the file section, now just go ahead and toggle the map function. Now this is where make.com becomes powerful. You'll see fields where you're supposed to choose data from the previous step. For example, the file name, you just go ahead here and then you select from email. So you would get a bunch of different headers and basically sections from your email that you would want to get the emails from. So for example, there is a subject, there is message ID, there are a bunch of different values which you can find here on this page, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to be going with select from. So select from email, and then I'm just going to delete that, and then we're going to move to the data field, and then we're just going to select has attachment. So basically what I want to do is that for every single email that comes in to my email, I want to be able to check if it has an attachment, and if it does have an attachment, then I am going to save that attachment to my Google Drive so I can check on it later instead of manually opening the emails to go and see what is inside them. So now you can just go ahead and click on save. Now here's a quick heads up. If you're using a personal Gmail account, just like I did, your Google Drive connection might not work immediately. So you might see an error message or a message saying that the app isn't verified. Don't worry, this is completely normal. So here's how to fix it. When the error appears, click advanced on the Google warning screen and then click go to make.com on safe. It sounds scary, but it's a safe connection because you are the one initiating the connection. Now after that, continue logging in and allow the permissions. Now if this still doesn't connect, make.com provides a built-in guide right on that screen, which you would see as a link, and then just follow the steps that they may ask you to, and then once you've done this, your Google Drive connection should work perfectly fine. And you only need to do this once, so after you do this, you would not need to do this in future. Now back to the video. So I'm going to be showing you how to test if your automation is running correctly. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on save, and then you'd find that this is how the automation is supposed to look like. So an email comes into Gmail and then moves to your Google Drive. I'm just going to show you that in a bit. So to test your automation, you just have to click on the run once button here at the bottom, which I have done. And then it's going to run and then check if you have any emails. Now you should send a test email with an attachment so that you verify that this is working correctly, and then you can proceed. Now, if everything is set correctly, you'll see the automation run and your file should appear in Google Drive. Now, I am just going to run a test automation to show you how this would look like if it works perfectly fine. Now, I have sent a test email, and then I'm just going to click on run once. and then you see that the upload is actually happening in real time. So I sent a test email with an attachment, and then it has been saved to my Google Drive. And if I go to my Google Drive, I am going to find the file saved on my Google Drive. So once you find that your test connection is working properly, you can go ahead and click on the toggle button here at the bottom. This turns on your scenario and then makes sure that even while you're away, this is still going to run. Now, at this point, you can already see how powerful this is. And if you want to build your own automations, don't forget, if you want to try make.com yourself, you can use my link down below in the description to get 1 month free and start automating your workflows easily. So I'll just go ahead and save this. You can tweak this to your preference. So if you want this once or daily or weekly or whatever you might like, and then at whatever time you want this to update, you can do that, and then just go ahead and click on save, and you now have yourself a fully functional automation. Now, here's a few key features you should know. So there are different things you'd want to know about make.com. So first things first, they have a multi-step automation process. So you're not limited to just one action. You can chain multiple steps together. So instead of stopping here, you can go ahead and add another action and make it do whatever you might want. Layer another app on top of it, and then just keep the chain going. Now, you also get the ability to control filters and conditions. So for example, you can only process emails with attachments such as I did in this video, or you can choose another condition just for it to run. And then, like I showed you earlier, you can also choose the intervals for which you want your automation to run, the error handling, scheduling, and a bunch of different things. So here's a few beginner tips. So you just need to start simple. Don't overcomplicate your first automation. Always test before turning your automation on, just like I did. Then use clear naming so you don't get confused later, and then watch your operation usage if you're on the free plan. And that's how to use make.com as a complete beginner. You've now learned how to create a scenario, set a trigger, add actions, map data, and automate your workflow completely. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure you get started right away. Also, if you want to try make.com yourself, you can use my link down below in the description to get 1 month free and start automating your workflows easily. And if you want more simple, helpful tutorials like this, make sure to subscribe and check out the next video.